I was pretty excited when I woke up one July morning this summer, remembering I was supposed to be spending the day behind the wheel of this gorgeous gold Mack Pinnacle. It's equipped with some of the finest bits of truck engineering I've ever had the pleasure of hitting the road with. My plan was to take the Pinnacle on a short run between Milton and Woodstock, Ontario. The idea was to test the mettle of Mack's MDrive transmission and the truck maker's new Super Econodyne Powertrain package. Our starting point for the drive was the Milton, Ontario terminal of Active Ultrahaul. They're the folks who were kind enough to hook us up with one of their great-looking pneumatic dry bulk tankers. It wasn't fully loaded, but it was a heavy enough wagon for our purposes. I was joined that day by Dave McKenna, Mack's Director of Powertrain Sales. We agreed to start the day by taking a close look at Mack's MDrive automated 12-speed transmission. Mack brought the MDrive to market at the Mid-America Trucking Show in 2010. It is, of course, physically the same transmission that Volvo calls I-Shift. It has 12 forward speeds and 2 reverse gears with 28% steps between the gears. MDrive is equipped with most of the same monitoring and performance functions, including engine power output sensors and an inclinometer. It has 2 optional operating modes, economy and performance, and it will maintain a set cruise speed on the highway on level ground or while decelerating or going down a hill with Mack's Power Leash engine brake. But that's where the similarities with I-Shift end. It's a Mack after all, and Mack customers expect Mack performance. The shift algorithms of the MDrive are pedigree Mack. It shifts at low RPM, it stays in gear longer in a pull, and, well, it shifts the way a seasoned Mack driver would shift a Mack engine. Because the integrated Mack powertrain, that is the MP8 engine and the MDrive transmission, can share data and information, performance can be optimized for any operating condition. Here to explain is Mack's Director of Powertrain Sales and Marketing, Dave McKenna.
See, this is the beauty of having control over your engine software, your transmission software, and your vehicle software. They're all talking to each other, speaking the same language 100% of the time.
One of the coolest things about the MDrive is that it learns as it goes. It adopts its shifting strategies based on the weight of the vehicle and the terrain it's on.
One of the neat features about the MDrive is that after every key cycle, it'll measure the amount of energy that's required to make the shift. So it'll know if we're loaded or we're empty. Like right now, it would know we had a trailer on by virtue of the trailer connections.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't know what type of weight that we've got. So what happens is the very first shift that the transmission makes, it is actually measuring the amount of energy and the time required to make the shift.
Okay.
And then what it does is it turns around and it uses that shift algorithm until the next key cycle.
As transmissions go, the MDrive could not be simpler to operate. At its most basic, all the driver needs to do is push the D button on the shift pad. It drops into gear with the clutch disengaged, and when the driver applies a bit of throttle, the air-activated clutch engages and you're off to the races. I defy any driver to make a smoother manual clutch engagement at any throttle position, even wide open. The MDrive is available with the standard economy power settings and an optional performance setting. In economy mode, the transmission will shift to optimize fuel economy. In performance mode, the transmission goes a few hundred RPM higher before shifting. That's useful if you're hauling heavier Canadian loads or if you just need a little get up and go.
This particular unit here has the performance shift pad in it. So, when you really want to accelerate in a hurry, you engage the performance mode.
Okay.
Well, what that does is that raises your shift points by a couple of hundred RPM. And, if we were loaded out at 63,000 kgs, and we wanted an extra, couple of hundred RPM to accelerate, that's what it would do. And then when you get up to road speed and get your foot off the throttle again, it shifts back to the normal shift algorithm for that load.
In keeping with that old Mack tradition of having big pulling power at extraordinarily low RPM, Mack has programmed the MDrive to go even lower in Super Econodyne. Mack has beefed up the torque output to more than 1,460 pound-feet of torque at RPMs as low as 1,000. The standard Econodyne engine, and most others for that matter, would fall flat on their face at 1,000 RPM, but with the right programming, Mack has overcome the problem of negative gradability at really low engine speed. Here, Dave and I had just crested a hill at less than 1,000 RPM. The engine was still pulling, and the MDrive transmission still wasn't shifting.
You know what amazes me is, like, how low that came when it made the downshift, and then it just kind of stayed there and then picked it up again. If we used that shift strategy with our standard Econodyne, it literally would have negative gradability at peak torque, and you would not be able to accelerate away from that hill.
The MDrive is one of the major enablers of Mack's Super Econodyne Powertrain package. We dig into that one a little bit deeper in the second video of this series. Because automated transmissions are programmed to shift on their own, and even driver override has a limited impact on the shifting decision, some find the automated gearboxes won't pull down far enough to take advantage of the lower end of the torque curve. MDrive has that one covered. If you haven't driven a Mack lately, you owe it to yourself to drop by a Mack dealership and take a closer look at this one. The Pinnacle highway tractor is as comfortable and as quiet a truck as I've driven lately. Mack has done some really nice work on the interior. This one features a grand touring trim package with button-tuck vinyl headliner and the ultra-leather seating package. It's roomy, it steers very well, and there's plenty of storage space in the cab and back in the sleeper. At the end of the day, the Pinnacle may not look or feel like your Uncle Floyd's Mack, but rest assured it's a Mack through and through.
That's the key. If it doesn't feel like a Mack, then we're in trouble. This is very, very, very important for us. So the Mack pedigree, Bulldog, DNA is all there.
In parts 2 and 3 of our video series, I go deeper into the Super Econodyne Powertrain package, taking engine RPM and torque down where few truck makers have dared to go. Check them out and see how low revs not only save fuel but make for a very comfortable driving environment as well. For today's Trucking's Ultimate Test Drive series, I'm freelance trucking journalist Jim Park. Stay safe and keep your revs down.